Morning all, welcome to the morning after show. The morning after the night before. Newcastle United 1, Leeds United 1. Not a result I expected or foresaw. I've been saying for... It's alright mate, the obstruction's your side, but I'll fucking reverse, shall I? Been saying for a while now that I think Leeds and Newcastle's squad, man for man, quality wise, position for position, is not an awful lot in it, to be honest. Obviously they've got a manager who plays their team, their individuals, collectively, etc., to the strengths of the side. Obviously our manager has got his own way, a way that obviously worked at times last season at the business end of the season, but there's not really, we're not getting the best out of all the players. But yeah, man for man, I think Leeds and Newcastle squads aren't entirely different. I just think that Leeds have a style that is perfect to beat us. However, to be fair, you know, Leeds, they were there for the taking last night. My word, were they there for the taking. You know, they had one fit centre-back, and I think, is it Lewis Cooper? I think his surname's Cooper. Their captain, who's been with them throughout the leagues, which is a side note, is, to be fair, that's a nice story. But yeah, one fit centre back, had a right back playing at centre back, and we didn't take advantage of that. We didn't play a striker through the middle, so we didn't have anyone who could, you know, test their positional play, their savvy at centre half. You know, who could really push boundaries, push limits, and yeah, give them a difficult evening. Instead, we played Alan Saint-Maximin through the middle. Of course, he presents his own challenges to defenders, namely dribbling, pace. He's unpredictable, and he's a bit of a maverick. But yeah, so getting back to it, 1-1 draw, a point at home, our second point of the season. Unbeaten in 2 now at St James's Park. You know, we're moving in the right direction with goals conceded at home. You know, 4 on the opening day, 2 last time out, 1 yesterday evening. Still no clean sheet for the season. Philip feels a little bit flat because we scored the second goal. The first half was unbelievable. The second half was still an entertaining game of football, but it's a little bit more controlled. We could have pounced on a few things. You know, Luke Ayling was injured. In the second half, he could hardly walk at times. But I think it wasn't picked up on commentary. But I think Jamal Lascelles had a similar problem. I saw him sort of hobbling back from a few corners. Anyway, let's go through it. So it was the same starting 11 outfield that started the last game. Obviously Freddie Woodman was dropped. I've heard reports that he's injured, which, to be fair, completely justifies Steve Bruce's selection of 4 goalkeepers for the Premier League campaign. Mark Gillespie was on the bench. Carl Darlow started. Good to see Carl Darlow back. I would have given Freddie Woodman one more game to see if he settled back down again and then continue with him. But if he was injured, he was injured. So Darlow, on the whole, looked decent. He had a couple of saves where he went down to his right and the ball squirted out to the left. Where you're like, oh my god. But yeah, dealt with most of what Leeds presented. Took the high balls fairly well, but Leeds don't really, you know, they're not exactly a bomb squad, are they? Yeah, I thought Darlow did okay. He didn't do much wrong. The goal, he was bamboozled by the brilliant movement of Rodrigo, which was picked up on commentary by Jamie Carragher. You know, it was a standard cross in swinger. Don't get me wrong. It was a good ball into the box from that bloke Rafinha out on the right hand side with his left foot in swinging. Good ball in, like I said. However, it was the movement of Rodrigo that completely wrong-footed Carl Darlow on his return to the Newcastle United starting 11. The two wing backs, I don't think did anything wrong. They were okay. Manquillo wasn't as good going forward as he was last week. He didn't score, but he was sound. He gave Dan James, well, the fact that Dan James was the first substitution on like 58, 59 minutes says it all. Manquillo gave Dan James a difficult night. He matched him. He marshalled him well, because Dan James, obviously ex-Manchester United, his main attribute is his pace, isn't it? Let's be honest. And I thought Manquillo marshalled him well. Matt Ritchie did okay on the other side, got booked early for a challenge on Rafinha. They had a bit of a, tit for tat battle. He got some decent balls into the box, hit the post with a right-footed shot, which was unlucky in the first half. If that had gone in, I think, if we'd have gone in at half-time 2-1 up, with Ritchie scoring and then Sir Maximan scoring, I think it would have been a completely different story at 90 minutes, to be honest. But that's life, isn't it? The three centre-backs. Right, I'm not going to enjoy the third one, but Kieran Clark, meh. Now, I think Kieran Clark is better than what he displayed last night. I think if you put him with better centre-back partners, you will see the best of Kieran Clark. However, I'll get to it in a minute. Right, so he was okay as an individual. Now, I've seen some still photos of him and the other centre-back, when we switched to a 4, getting caught out positionally. Now, you have to ask, was he out of position? Was Clark out of position? But I think Clark was all right. Not his best game individually, but he passed the ball fairly well. He's got a good understanding with Matt Ritchie. Calm under pressure, a few decent headers, good blocks. Isaac Hayden was on the right of our centre-back 3. I thought he did okay in defence. Like I said in my pre-match preview, as much as I love Isaac Hayden, and I rate him at centre-back, I really do, especially in the right-hand side of a 3. It's a slap in the face to Fernandez and Fabian Schär, international centre-backs on the bench and the midfielders taking their place. But was that part of the plan? Because after about half an hour, Steve Bruce and Graham Jones are constant chattering to each other on the sideline, and we go to a back 4. Isaac Hayden steps up into midfield. The game calms down a bit from there. It was a recurrent through the first half and large portions of the second that we would bomb forward, and then Leeds would get the ball and there'd be acres and acres of space for them on the break. Then we catch up, then they lay the ball off on the edge of the box, and there'd be acres of space for Calvin Phillips to have a go, for Rodrigo to have a go, Rafinha to have a go. So that is something we have to. Our defence just isn't good enough. Defensively, as a whole team, we're not good enough at the moment. Which leaves me to Jamal Lascelles. Now, season before last, I did a quick little video while I went to nursery to pick my daughter up about Jamal Lascelles, saying how much I like him, how much I rate him as a defender on his day. I think he's a very good Premier League defender. Deep down, I love him as a captain. I like him as a character. But as a defender at the moment, oh my God, he's just second rate. I shit myself every time he gets past the ball with any sort of pressure on him. At one point, he goes to head the ball out. It's a standard header. And, Jamal Lascelles, I've given him credit as like an Nemanja Vidic type player. He's not the Rolls-Royce, Rio Ferdinand, Jonathan Woodgate. He's an old school defender. Headers, tackles, blocks, barking orders at people. Making an impact. Hard. And he goes to head it and he goes straight up in the air. Then he dithers and dallies, and he's just not up to it. He's just not up to it at the minute. And it's no coincidence that last season when he was out, we started to pick up points. Kieran Clark shone when he's not next to Jamal Lascelles. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I'd be tempted to stick while Dummett's still out, stick Clark in the middle, or Clark on the left and Cher in the middle and Fernandez on the right, or whatever. I know Jamal's the captain. I respect him. I really do. I like it. I want him to succeed. I really want him to do well. So like I said, I think he's a cracking old school centre half. I think he's a good character, but do you know what I mean? I don't know. I think he could do with taking out the firing line, because I think he's copping a bit of abuse online. I'm not into that. I think, you know, he's obviously not going to watch this video, but please, anyone who is, don't think I'm abusing Jamal Lascelles. It's a bit of criticism. I think, and I know he's better than this, but he needs to come out the team at the minute for himself and for the team, because we're suffering as a result of his mistakes. I'm going to rattle through the rest quickly because I've gone on too long. I'm at the gym now. Midfield, like I said, until it changed, we were far too open in midfield. It was an entertaining game though. Joe Willock was decent again, drove forward. Sean Longstaff didn't pull up any trees, but I thought we had a good game. He was always willing for the ball. Got caught in possession a few times, but he sprayed some good balls about. Improving, he's getting better. He's, like I said, he's not back to where he was under Rafa, but he's getting better now. He's moving in the right direction. Miggy, same again, carried on from where he was against Man United and looks a lot better. Drove forward, pace. He's taking people on now instead of dithering. He's like taking the scruff of the neck, game by the scruff of the neck a little bit, and instead of like getting the ball and dithering and then running into a corner and then getting dispossessed or giving it to someone else, he's like, right, I'm going to drive with the ball. I'm going to take the responsibility. Who else? Is that 5-3? Yeah, so ASM, obviously, man of the match. Fantastic goal. Could have had 2 or 3. Constant menace, constant threat. A little bit frustrating sometimes. He always seems to take that one person. I say always. Sometimes takes on that one person too many. But without him, we are effed. We are fucked. We are fucked. No two ways about it. Sensational performance. Sensational performance. If he carries on like that, January, we're going to have to work hard to keep hold of him, I think. Although he loves it at the club and he's got a good connection with the fans, someone's going to come in and when I say we're going to have to do well to keep hold of him, I mean the fans, because someone's going to offer Lee Charnley 50 million and he's not going to say no to it. He ain't going to say no. Joe Linton, first half, where it was the best 45 minutes he's seen in black and white. He was excellent. Excellent. Apart from when he had that chance, which is a fairly easy opportunity, and he fired it straight at the goalkeeper. Everything apart from that, he was excellent. Holding up, you're playing on the left-hand side, holding the ball up, little 1-2s. He skipped past about 5 or 6 people, you know, at different moments. Coming, driving inside, playing the ball wide. You know, the old Joe Linton would take a heavy touch and then get dispossessed, or if he was lucky, have another go to have a pass and fuck it right up. He was brilliant. Brilliant. Second half, like the whole team, he faded a little bit as the game closed in, but he was very, very good. I'm pleased for Gillen, and I really wanted him to score. When the ball fell to him, I was like, please score. You know, as much as obviously for us to go 1-1, but for him. Subs, come on. Fraser, come on. Couldn't really get into the game. Kraft and Manquillo, didn't really understand that substitution, to be honest. Unless Manquillo's injured. Who else came on? Jeff Hendrick was getting ready at one point. Oh god, that's bad, isn't it? I can't remember. But Steve Bruce, obviously we all heard the chants at full time. I'm not going to say what he said about in the week and about his holiday. I did feature on TalkSport though, I will say. I went on TalkSport, one that was at Tuesday or Wednesday night. Got on and said a little bit about Steve Bruce going on holiday. They clipped it up and put my name in like their little thumbnail on their YouTube channel, so have a look. Obviously not the win we needed, but he changed it. He recognised what was going wrong and he changed the thought at the back. And I'll be honest, Leeds, apart from that, when we had like 3 blocks in a row, they didn't really look like scoring from then on. It was pot shots. You know, we looked more secure with 4 at the back. And crucially, with that holding midfield player, because like I said, Almiron, Sean Longstaff and Joe Willock are brilliant players, good midfielders, but one of them needs to hold, you know. Joe Willock's driving forward. Sean Longstaff wants to be a number 10. Miggy Almiron's a fucking number 10 or a winger. You know, we need someone who's just going to be like, whoa, you boys go, I'll hold back. And that man is Isaac Hayden. There's not a better man for us than Isaac Hayden. So yeah, we got a draw. We didn't lose. So I thought we were going to lose because Leeds are perfect for us. But, you know, we did well. Should have beaten them at the end of the day with their defensive frailties. But, hey, we didn't lose. ASM scored. Good points for my fantasy team. Yeah. Who's next? Norwich. Norwich are next. Last time I looked, they were winning. No, they were drawing 1-1 Watford. So we shall see. Carrow Road. Obviously, the last time we were at Carrow Road, we got humbled 3-1 on the second day of the season, 1920 season, which was one of the worst days in the Steve Bruce reign. Worst games during the Steve Bruce reign. Obviously, it's got worse since then as a whole situation. But that, so we've got something to play for there. We've got redemption there. The vast majority of the team's the same. So there you go. So anyway, see you next week. Friday reflections. I missed that this week, so I've been fucking busy. Back to work after a long paternity spell. Yeah, Friday reflections. Go into a few things, see what's happening. So please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Ciao.